Well, Christmas miracles do happen. 4 away wins on the bounce and 5. Let me just check that again. 5. One of those scores you do have to check the video printer is correct. Away at Doncaster. Congratulations. And genuinely, for all those pilgrims that have travelled up and down the country from August to November in miserable watching terrible football, hopefully that was for you. How are you all doing? I know these three are a lot happier from their trip to Doncaster. Coming up this week, then, we're asking the age-old question, how has this happened? And is it now that we're getting wise old heads on the pitch? Certainly some fans seem to think so. Here's one in particular. Richard said, it's the experience returning that has helped massively. Pleggy's been immense. Joe Rolls is a huge difference in midfield. Mixing experience and youth is what's done this, and what's to return to. Plus January transfer window, never underestimate experience. And we've got some very wise old heads here on our panel today to run the rule over that Doncaster win. Plus, also coming up, we're asking if you could give a gift to any Argyle player or fan base this season, what would you give and who would you give it to? We're talking about who the best fan base we've come across at home park so far this season are, so the gift of Christmas spirit, of course. And we're talking about our player of 2025. I don't think it's going to take us very long, given what happened on Saturday. Plus, we're up to K on the Argyle A to Z. More on that to come, but let's get straight into that. Let's get straight into that game then, shall we, Jayden? Wow. 5. What was your favourite goal of the 5?
There were some good ones, weren't there? Well, they gave us a lot of them, didn't they? They just, passed us the ball, did some nice assists for us. Tolai scored some great goals. Just the finishes, so clinical. That's what we needed. We've been talking about it for weeks. That we just need a game where we can be clinical, and we will win, because that's the way the games have been looking recently. And finally, we've had one. We put 5 in the back of the net, we scored a couple of good goals.
Yeah, just to be that person, Reese, were Doncaster that bad, or were you that good?
I think it was nice to see that for once it was a team. We were punishing a team for their mistakes rather than the other way around. You never get a 5-1 win and the other team's played amazing or has played well, and you can't play incredible and win 5-1. I think the clinicalness of us in front of goal is probably what did it. I think I don't know how many shots we had on target, but it wasn't. At one point we had 3 shots, 3 on goal, and the keeper hadn't touched the ball yet, other than picking it out of his own net. I don't know where this has come from, to be honest, because we haven't looked massively clinical in front of goal all season, other than with Tolly. But we've put it on the plate for him, and it's amazing what happens when you start using your striker, isn't it? And you start scoring goals. I think I think it helped that the second and third, and I counted it on like 14 seconds after kickoff, we scored a third after scoring a second. It just takes the wind out of another team, doesn't it? They're 2-1 is a very different game going at half time. You get a very quick third, and suddenly their edge dropped, and we started having some fun, and it looked like a team playing with a bit of fun, playing for fun, and playing with that enjoyment back in their game. It's what we've been missing for a long time. They don't look like they've been enjoying playing for the club. Don't look like they've been enjoying playing football. But we've got a bit of confidence there, a bit of something, and I mean that Tolly. The second goal, Tolly, I think, is really clever. He's through on goal, gets shoved in the back, and he still finishes it off really well, off balance. Yeah, him and Oseni absolutely ran the show, and brilliant performance from both of them.
Yeah. Cheers, Reese. Do you need to say sorry to Oseni, Chris, at all before we get onto your part?
I would love to say sorry every time I'm wrong, Mark, and on this occasion, Owen Oseni has proven me wrong. I always said he's a work rate player, but he's showing his worth now. So he gives effort. I've always said he's given effort, but on Saturday he proved me wrong. Lots of lovely goals. So in 2 goals in 3 games, you can't knock him for that. What a performance by the Greens. But after 4 minutes, you would have put the money on us winning 5-1. Don't forget that go up.
Yeah.
7 minutes later, the man of the season came in and done the business, and long may it continue. Tolai, what a guy. He's coming into my house, as I've said before, Christmas Day. Takes on my food, and being sick on the floor and not apologising.
Brilliant.
That guy, stunning.
Please don't do that. We've got a game on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, to add to the point we spoke about at the start of the show about experience, just get your view on that. Richard says it's not an accident that with Pleggy and Edwards more up to speed, Hall settling in, and Galloway more fit, the team is turning around. It's permeating through the team. Systems that he used clearly were to resolve unfit players and the lack of experience as a result. Yeah. Do you agree with these posters about experience now is why we're seeing these wins?
100%, Mark. I said a while ago, we've got to add experience into our team, and Joe Edwards at the time was our only experienced man who was available, and we've gradually introduced him back in after a long-term injury. Pleggy the same, although he was missing on Saturday with another injury, which is not great news. But we've got Joe Rawls in that midfield, and the midfield is an engine that you want to experience players at, and we've got that now in Joe Rawls. We've got the experience and the will to win of Laurent Toloi up front, who's leading the line, and he's playing alongside and helping Aseni. We've got Joe Edwards, and it's no coincidence that back four, as I said before, you want to start winning games, you've got to tighten up at the back, and that back four now looks like a team that can do that. They are not giving away easily chances, and we looked and dominated on Saturday. And to be honest with you, I looked at Doncaster as one of the certs for me, along with Port Vale, to go down. They were poor, although they did have two great chances in the second half when it was only 4-1, and Conor Hazard come to our rescue and made a couple of great saves there, to be fair, so I can't forget that. But yeah, I think Doncaster, for me, looked doomed, in the words of Dad's Army.
Jaden Vince says, forgetting the first 10 minutes, that's been one of the best performances this season. Absolutely faultless and massively deserved and earned. My only negative comment, I do apologise, is, but where the F has this been? And there's a few been saying that. Look, is it, there's a little bit of that some of the players perhaps, need to look at some of their own performances. I know we've had a go at Cleverly, but are some of those players that haven't been putting it in now starting to run the extra yards, do the sprints, which we didn't see in October?
Yeah, they do. But I think it's a couple of players returning. Obviously, we've had Amishi back, Tolai back after a couple of games, and they've all sort of come back at the same sort of similar time. Rules has come in similar time again. I think just having a few more players who are raising the performance a bit, are also just increasing the confidence in the team a bit. And I think it's just coming to show what a couple of players coming back can do to a team, because I think that is the driving factor at the minute of the performance going up, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is linked timely to the fans forum race. I know I joked about it last week, but there just seems to have been a kick on in the team since that meeting. Is there any correlation you're putting that down to? Because the fans left that going, well, at least we know where we are now. Do you think psychologically the players also kind of knew where they were?
I have no idea, because if I'm honest, if I was one of the players after that fans forum where they were chucked on the bus, I think it would have possibly gone the other way. However, it's clearly done the opposite. They've possibly sat them down, shown them that video, and gone, "Wake up," and somehow it's given them a kick. I have no idea. There's something certainly after that. I think probably what's probably more fitting is that was a week after Derek Adams started, and we're now starting to see the effects of, and not necessarily Derek Adams taking over the team or taking over the tactics or anything like that, but being that advisor to Cleverly. When I think I've said it before, when Lowe and Schumacher first joined, they brought Deucenik with them, not as a director of football, nothing like that, just as an advisor, as a shoulder they could go to and give ideas. And I'm struggling with this, or I'm struggling to get this player motivated, or I'm struggling to. Adams has been there and done it. He knows how to communicate with players. He knows how to get the best out of players. You're struggling. I mean, that's what we got ourselves out of League Two with, was with a team that, if they were in any other team, would have struggled. But he got players fighting, he got players working, and somehow they always work for him. And I think possibly that side of things, he's advising and helping Cleverly be what they've all claimed he is, and this brilliant manager that they can see the potential in. and hopefully, I just hope this is a real turning point now. We can really push on because it's not too late in this season. We went up 7 places on Saturday. You got potential then this Saturday going up again another. Well, not this Saturday. When are we? I don't even know when we play at the moment. It's Christmas. Isn't it? I
Friday
don't
and
know what day
Monday.
is it. Friday is it?
Friday and Monday, yeah.
Friday, Monday. Right. When we play Friday, you got potential being top half suddenly, and it's not too late. If we can sort of get going and not let our standards drop again, we've got a real potential. And if they get January right, which fingers crossed they do, and we recover from January, I think there's still we can salvage something out of this season.
Okay. I mean, Chris, I really felt for you, of course, because I know you've done most of these away games as well, and that run, which started with losing to Exeter in October, and then all the way through that run, all the way to Huddersfield, I think it was away, where they were completely abject for the whole game. Does it make it feel extra special when you get back on that bus then, because you've had those lows, and does it make the highs even higher? Stupid question, I know, but yeah.
Yeah, it always does, Mark, with a club like ours. The highs are high and the lows are lows, really low. And that, for me, against Exeter, that was the lowest point that I've felt in many seasons, not just this one, but for many seasons. It was everyone's attitude and lack of effort, and those things you cannot forgive as a supporter. Saturday, those things were upturned massively, and you just want to see effort, passion, commitment, all the things that you want to see as a supporter. We don't travel all the way to Doncaster in the hope that we're going to lose, and they might put out a performance. You want to see them put out a performance, and you can take losing. All right, if you don't want them to lose 1-0 or 2-0, but you don't want them to get stuffed either and be care less sort of players. Is it a coincidence that we've got Derek Adams suddenly come in? Probably not. Is it a coincidence that these players are suddenly looking over their shoulder and thinking it's a January transfer window and they don't want to be in it to be losing their spots? It probably isn't. So it's a mixture of things. And it's also the experience, as you've mentioned, coming back all in one go, that we've got the experienced players. And Joe Rose has been a captain at Cardiff City for 300 odd games, and he's leading that into Plymouth Argyle as well as Joe Edwards. So it's a mixture of things that why things are suddenly becoming good. And I genuinely think that the players actually like Tom Cleverley. And when everyone was knocking him and his toxic attitudes, I said at the time, I'm sitting on the fence because I really wanted him to do well. And now these things are coming up. There's a lot of humble pie that's got to be eaten by a lot of people. Because Tom isn't a bad person. He's had bad players introduced to him, which is none of his fault that he's got some of these players, and he's trying to make good with what he's got. And fair play to him. He's never come out and slated them and put them under a bus. And now, hopefully, things will pay dividends when we get all our players back and January transfer comes in and we get the ones that's needed. And Derek Adams then you will see how effective he is in that.
I think if they get this decision, you look at the results when we were going bad, and the board decided to stick by him, and everyone's sort of, well, even if the board got rid of him, and how do you rebuild that trust? I think if they've managed to get this decision right, and this comes through, and at the end of the season we sit there and we're just outside playoffs, or we've just made playoffs, or whatever happens this season, as long as we stay up, even myself included, because I was I couldn't stand Cleverley for a little bit. There was we got to actually put our hands up and go to the ball. And well, fair enough, you could have quite easily have chucked your hand in it, and that's the start of them trying to rebuild that confidence for themselves, isn't it? And you got that decision right. You got January right. Hopefully, touch wood. They've got this chance now to start rebuilding that connection with the fans. And if they have got Cleverley right, and they do get January right, that's a massive step, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, sport, especially football, is all based on results, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not only performances, it's results. And the last couple of games prior to Saturday, our performances hasn't been brilliant, but we've got the 2 results against Wycombe and Rotherham. But Saturday, it was everything. We were chasing second balls. We played as a team. Everyone was playing for each other. Even at 1-0 down, it was like, come on, get your heads together and let's go for them. And that's exactly what happened. And long may it continue. If we can come out and do that in an away game, then we can do that in that next 2 home games against Wycombe and Reading. Then flipping heck,
It's got to give us confidence going into January. It's only a couple of players, and suddenly you've got a fairly decent squad starting to gel together, haven't you? And you still need reinforcements because we get a couple of injuries and we're in trouble again. But
Saturday we had 4 first teamers suddenly.
Yeah.
All injured.
Yeah.
And, want to include 5 with Brendan Galloway in the AFCON.
Yeah.
So that's a decent amount of first teamers we had out on Saturday.
Yeah.
But what they rolled their sleeves up, got their heads together, and flipping went for it. They didn't use any excuses of not having the players there. Brilliant.
Good stuff. Right. Reading and Wycombe to come then to home games, of course, over the Christmas period. We'll be chatting about those in the new year. This is our last record of 2025, so of course we have to ask the question, who has been the player of the last 12 months? Calendar year, of course, here, so we can award it to somebody who's left in the summer if you want to. Jaden, who definitely gets this accolade for you?
I've got 2. So first half of the year for me, Bundu. I think at the end of the last season, he was absolutely brilliant. He scored, braces left, right, and centre. Just to get us 3-1 victories, important winners in 2-1 wins towards the end of the season. Coventry, I think he scored a brace. So good at the end of the season. Nearly kept us up. Yeah, big part in that. Second half of the year, it's got to be Lauren Tolai for me. Brilliant. Saved us in the season.
Expected that, Chris? Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. And if we were splitting the season or the year into 2 halves, first half for me, Adam Randall, missed that man immensely. He was a midfield dynamo, and it's one of those you never know how good he is until he's not there, and we've missed him immensely. If he was in our midfield now, then it would be great. But for this part of the season, there'd be no other. Laurent Tolai, Erling Tolai.
Dave, you, Reece, yep.
Same first half. Actually, I would go Ryan Hardy, and not for his overall performance, but in a season pretty doom and gloom for that moment against Liverpool. I think none of us are ever going to live that down, never going to forget that moment. So first half, and then, he's going to run away with the entire season, isn't he, Tolly? So, yeah.
Okay. Let us know your thoughts in the comments as well. Also want to shout out to everyone who's been watching as well and supporting the channel and helping us grow. Really appreciate it. Nice little community we're growing here, and thank you for all your comments that we read every single week as well. Absolutely smashing it. Super. Right, on that vein then, with Season of Goodwill, we're asking about who are the best fans you've seen at home park and the away end so far this season. Single word answers here. Reece?
Probably, I don't know, maybe Bradford. They were the only ones that really sold it out, and they travelled some distance for 12:30.
Yep. Jaden?
Let me have a look.
Come back to you, Chris.
I would go with Bradford, Yorkshire, Long Road Poke. It was between them, Barnsley, but yeah, Bradford was up there. But I'll be different. Barnsley then.
Okay. Yeah, Jaden.
Yeah, first day of the season, they were very good. I remember that. Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. Right. So that's a K then in our A to Z of Plymouth. If you have not been watching this, then we're looking at an Argyle encyclopedia of past heroes and events. We're up to letter K now. Then, anyone got anything good for this?
I've got a worthy of mention with David. Only because the other 2 guys weren't have been around when he was there. He was with us between 79 and 81, 95 appearances, 45 goals. He was a renowned player for us, bit in the Tolly mold, but nowhere near as good. And he then became a manager, and likewise, he was never that great as a manager, in my opinion. But
I had exactly the same conversation with my dad earlier when he was telling me about him.
Yeah, he was a better player than what he was a manager. But the person I'd like to mention or nominate would be Maureen O'Keefe. 2001, 2005, 131 appearances, 32 goals, and many of those appearances was made as a substitute. But he picked up the championship medals for the 3rd division in 2001 to 2002, and 2nd division 2003 to 2004. Always going to be remembered for scoring that winner in the FA Cup in December 2003 against Swindon, when we went 2-0 up in an FA Cup match and they came back to 2 each. It was horrendous. Of course, when you're 2 each now, what do you get from the home fans? 2-0 and you effed it up. And it was really loud. You know, they were giving us pelters. So what happened? Added time now. It didn't go into extra time, but it was added time of the 90 minutes. Luke McCormick got the ball. He kicked it up, as I remember. Who did he kick it up to? It was, Mickey Evans. Mickey Evans launched it on to Tony Capaldi. Tony Capaldi launched it on to Maureen O'Keefe. Maureen O'Keefe scored the winner, 3-2 in added time. You don't come back from those. And what happened? 2-2, and you effed it up was a rent. Absolutely giving it back. But those scenarios, don't count your chickens, Swindon.
Brilliant. Great story. Thanks, Chris. Any other Ks?
I've got one, and it's another story. I'll try and make it a little bit shorter. He was actually, he's not one of these ones who's got anything fancy about him. He wasn't amazing. He was actually on loan with us, on loan from Bolton, scored goal of the season against Northampton, where he decided to take on the entire team and pass it past the keeper for absolute fun. And this is actually because he was recalled in January. We spent most of January then trying to negotiate to get him back. Agreed a deal. He was in his car on the way down when he got a phone call telling him to stop, turn around, and none other than Manchester United had beaten us to his signature and decided to take him back to their place. So they went to Manchester United and spent the rest of the season in their under-21s. So it's just an interesting story. It put us, we were deadline day this is, and we were suddenly headline news on deadline day, which has never happened before and probably will never happen again. So mine's Andy Kellett.
Good stuff. Jaden, anything to add?
Well, I think there's only been 2 or 3 in my lifetime. So I've gone Nikola Katic, only with us for a brief spell, half season, very recently, and a memorable performance against Liverpool, which I saved for this. I know Reece didn't, but yeah, I saved it for this part because they weren't my brothers.
Brilliant. Wonderful. Thank you so much, all of you. To finish off with, then, we're giving the gift of Christmas. Each of our podcasters is going to be able to gift a player, a manager, somebody across the League One stratosphere a gift for Christmas. Who needs a gift, Reece, and what is it?
It's not even he doesn't need it, but I would like to gift Laurent Tolai the keys to Plymouth.
He thinks he might be getting them in May. Jaden?
Yeah, I've gone creative. I would like to give Tom Cleverley and Argyle the gift that keeps on giving, because carry on this momentum and keep winning.
Like it. Chris?
Oh, I'd love to give Exeter City fans a bunch of sour grapes. I'd like to give Ben Pepper a compass so that when he puts it, he can put it in his shorts, just to let him know where the goal is, with a little note on it. Try to hit it between the sticks.
He's going to score a hat-trick this weekend.
I'd like to, well, again, I'll eat my words next week, but I won't do that. And I'd like to give Tom Cleverley a big slice from all the supporters of Plymouth Argyle of humble pie.
Yeah.
Brilliant. On that note, we shall say thank you. Thank you very much. Right, enjoy the football over the festive period. Thank you, you three. Have a great Christmas, you three, obviously with all your families as well. Wishing you all the best, and Merry Christmas to all of you watching as well. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable Christmas. We'll see you back here in a week's time when we're reviewing, obviously, all our January transfer wishes and looking back on the year that has been 2025, the ups and the downs of it. Thank you so much for watching. Do drop us a sub if you haven't yet done so already. Have a great Christmas.
Cheers.